during the Archon War, Morix, Deus Ori, and Guizhong, the god of dust, lived with the Adepti and their people in the region now known as the Gili Plains. When the war began, they stood by each other and fought other gods. 3,700 years ago, Guizhong died in a particular battle which also ravaged the Gili Plains, and Morix took the people south of Mt Tianheng and established Liyue Harbor. After the establishment of Liyue Harbor, Morix continued to defend his people from other gods and monsters. One of his exploits was the war with an unknown god in Chenyu Vale. The war was implied to be particularly bloody, as the Bishui River was said to be crimson red. Morix easily overwhelmed the god, who then sought to flood the Bishui River in a final attempt to defeat him. This act would have also destroyed the Vale, causing the god's Adepti disciples, Fujin and the Herb Lord, to defect. The two rebelled against their master, along with their old friend, the Swanee Lingyuan, to evacuate the people. The god's fate is unknown, but the Herb Lord fell in battle and Fujin sank to the sea, losing much of her powers in the process. Other notable feats of Morix were defeating and sealing various gods and sea monsters at Guyun Stone Forest with stone lances. Among them were Ojal and the Chi of Ur. Although they were defeated, the stone pillars became divine, but with hatred and curses within as well. Marcosius, the god of the stove, was one of the gods who sacrificed his power and godly status to prevent the calamities and plagues caused by the war from finally destroying Liyue. The demons that were generated, however, posed a threat to the people, so Morix assigned a group of Adepti called the Yiksha to eliminate them. The karmic debt accumulated proved to be too much for them, either perishing or disappearing. As of the present day, Shao is the only alive and active Yiksha. Among the gods who lost to Morix was the serpent god Orobashi, who fled to Inazuma after its defeat. Meanwhile, the salt goddess Havria, known for both her gentleness and relative weakness compared to other gods, tried to avoid the chaos of the Archon War and yearned for the peaceful days of old. However, in that brutal era, she found herself making more and more concessions until all she had left for her, and her people was the land now known as Salterai. In the end, she perished at the hands of her own people. Realizing that her love and kindness were incapable of protecting them, the king of her people decided to slay her both as a demonstration of their decision to take a more militaristic stance, and to spare her the agony of defeat and destruction at the hands of another god. On her death, however, the surge of power that emerged from her body turned anyone who had been in the area into salt. Those who survived were scattered throughout Liyue, most eventually settling in Liyue Harbor and forming Inyuan Hall with a distorted version of events.